Hey guys, it's Matt with CJ Off-Road here, and I've got something extremely exciting behind me. I've got the brand new Rubicon 392. Now, it's been over a year since we've had a Hemi Wrangler here in the studio, and I can remember that entire build, all the process of swapping our own 5.7 into it. And even in that video, I referenced that, hey, maybe one day Jeep should do this. And Randy and his wife were lucky enough to come down and show us our brand new Rubicon 392. They're all the way up from Culpeper, Virginia, and they've got a gorgeous billet silver Rubicon 392 behind me. Now, like I said before, we've done this swap, we put a 5.7 in, but getting one from the factory is something that I didn't ever think was going to happen. This is brand new for us, and just something crazy to have in the studio. So in today's video, we're gonna do a quick walk around here, see if maybe we can drive it a little bit and see what that sounds like, and definitely go into detail for you guys watching at home. I have not seen one of these this close in person. We've got it here in the studio today. So let's get started on this one. We're gonna do a walk around, check out everything that this Rubicon 392 has to offer. So let's get to it. All right guys, well obviously the most important part of what's in a Rubicon 392 is the engine. It's got a 6.4 liter Hemi that makes 470 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Now what's also neat about that is it can go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 4.5 seconds and does the quarter mile in 13 seconds, which for a Jeep, basically a salad bar on wheels, is incredibly fast and is something that you're not really gonna touch with a lot of performance vehicles. It's basically like you're stuffing a Corvette C8 engine underneath the hood of a brand new Wrangler. So this is incredible to see. Obviously they did a great job of accenting the hood too. You can see we've got the 392 badging there in that bronze trim, and the bronze trim is gonna be followed throughout the rest of the vehicle. That's one thing I gotta say with Jeep is they are accenting these vehicles very nicely. You can see it in all the different trim models, and the bronze on this really pops with that billet silver color. But we're not gonna keep you guys waiting any longer. Let's pop this Hydroglide hood here and see what's underneath and check it out ourselves. A little bit of weight to this hood though. Now we've all seen some photos of the 392 under the hood on the Jeep website. We've seen a couple on the forums, but to be able to see one in person, there's a lot of things that are familiar to me. You know, we swapped a 5.7 in, however, this is the 6.4, so it's a little bit bigger. Now also, I'm seeing a couple neat things under the hood. Obviously that Jeep Hydro Guide, there's some flaps on the back here, which really you can see the way the water will flow through while allowing that cold, clean air to come right through that center and go into the intake, which is on the driver's side. So much like the diesel, they mimicked a couple things. So I see the batteries on this side faced this way, and then you have your fuse box up front. So a couple things are close to basically other Jeep models. However, there are some changes. Biggest thing I'm a fan of on this, besides the Hydro Guide basically helping that air come in and the water go out, is that the alternator is nice and tucked up high there. That's really cool too, especially for off-roading applications. You're not gonna have to worry about water getting into there and potentially damaging or ruining your alternator. So the one thing I am noticing about this, there is a lot more clearance between the firewall and the back of the engine. I can remember with our Hemi swap, there was a little bit, basically like a 1/4 inch of clearance behind the back of the block to the firewall. And then we had to kind of rig up a little bit of the heater core lines. And this is all factory, guys. This is just insanity to see it in a Wrangler like this. And mind me if I'm a little bit starstruck right now, but this is very cool to see actually in person. What we're gonna do at the end of the video, we'll definitely start it up, maybe take it for a test drive so you guys can hear everything and how this runs. But that's basically it underneath the hood. Lots of cool stuff going on under here, and really cool to see that Jeep finally did it. Well guys, moving on to the side, like I had mentioned on the 392 badge in the center of the hood there, you can see the bronze accents are tied in throughout the rest of the Jeep. Now obviously it's really neat too to see the color match flares, but standard on the Rubicon 392, you're gonna get that front and rear steel bumper, and they are winch capable by adding on a winch plate. Now we've got some bronze accents on the tow hooks, and then probably my favorite part of the Rubicon 392 are the wheels. Now these wheels are a 17-inch wheel. I haven't seen them before besides in the concept, and they look absolutely killer in person. The neat thing is too, these are actually just beauty rings here, or almost a rock ring that you could beat up, pull them off, replace them. But you can actually turn these into a fully functional beadlock wheel as well by using the Mopar part number that gives that added on. Moving on to the suspension, you can see that that bronze accent is moved right into that too, with a Fox suspension on there. Now from what I'm told, it looks like this picks it up about 2 inches. So this is almost the exact same as the Mopar 2-inch lift, just added on that Fox logo on there instead of the Mopar logo with the standard gray Fox shock. But really clean looking here. Also, the trail rated badge and the Jeep badge have the same thing going for you. You've got that bronze tied in, and honestly guys, it's great to see one in person. This is kind of my idea on what I want to do on the outside of my Sarge Green. So we've got all that going on and flowing right onto the interior, which we're going to check out next. So guys, we've hopped onto the interior here, and what's really neat about the Rubicon 392 is they have tied in a lot of the performance aspects of the SRT team at Jeep and FCA. So you can just see on the basically the dash here, it's been all customized. We've got that nice wizard black with the flake in there, which I think looks a heck of a lot better than the red in this application. It just looks more aggressive and it looks a lot more custom. Now with that bronze accent, you can see tied in throughout the entire interior here, including all the stitching and the Rubicon 392 on the back of the seat. That bronze is really tied in very clean and very subtle. But also, one of the neatest things right here in your center stack, right here in your gauge cluster, you do have that active exhaust on-off button. And from what Randy just told me, that actually remembers your last state. So huge kudos to FCA for letting one of these buttons actually remember the last state. And then I started getting to ask, well, where's the auto stop start eliminator button? And there is no auto stop start on this. So just like my Hemi, which kind of deleted it because of the tune we had, this one doesn't come with the auto stop start, which is a big thumbs up in my book. It's not going to shut off at a red light for you. You're going to be constantly on with this thing. Moving on to also the coolest thing that I've seen in these new Rubicon 392s is going to be the steering wheel. If I could get one of these in my JL, I would. You can see the perforated leather as well as this kick out here to really get your hand in there nice and tight and really be able to grip onto that steering wheel when controlling that 470 horsepower. Backed up to that is the paddle shifters behind the steering wheel, which will let you control the 8-speed manually. So you can control it just like you would in a regular sports car and really get maintained control out of your Rubicon 392. So that's enough on the interior here, guys. A very good looking interior on this 392. Let's move on to the back. We'll show you some surprises with that exhaust and some things we've learned. Let's hop out and check it out. And moving on to the back, guys, you can see obviously we've got the 5th matching spare. The coolest thing and perhaps the most different thing on this is that it does have a dual exhaust, and it's a quad tip exhaust, so 2 outlets on either side. They are nice and tucked up underneath there, and that's where I was mentioning before on that active exhaust. So that button up on the dash looks like it actually controls some vacuum lines. We've checked the actuators up behind there. Randy showed me where those were at, and we checked on them. It looks like a little vacuum line going into there. So what that is doing is just allowing positive pressure to come into there to either open or close the valve depending on how you're driving, or if you've manually deactivated the switch. We've also got a tailgate reinforcement, which is an option on the Rubicon 392, but honestly is a good option if you're already looking at getting it from factory. Well, with that being said, guys, this is the back end here, so what better place to start on a little startup and test drive than firing it up and hearing how it sounds. All right, guys, we're gonna fire it up, take it for a little ride. Guys, so we're gonna roll out the Rubicon 392. Randy's in the back seat. Doesn't want to be on camera, making sure we're not doing any burnouts, but we really don't do too many burnouts here at CJ's. All right, guys, let's pull it out and see what she'll do. So instantly, just right off the bat, you can feel that torque. Shift's really nice too. Wow. I didn't even really get on it there, and it definitely has a lot more torque than my 5.7 did. Definitely a very smooth ride though, guys. I mean, and the power is just kind of there instantaneously. Yeah. That's neat. Steering wheel feels like thicker and almost a little bit heavier than a standard JL. Feels like an SRT or performance vehicle should feel. And obviously have to leave the exhaust open right now, so I don't think there'd be a reason where I'd ever close them. Even if I'm leaving the neighborhood at 6 in the morning, still, just leave them open. It's okay. You paid for it. You might as well use it. We'll just take a little quick trip right out here. We're gonna go out right on Allentown Boulevard and take just a cruise down the highway and then back out, but definitely neat. I mean, it's just super smooth. The brakes, I think the brakes are a little bit upgraded in these too. No mistaking this is a 6.4. No mistaking that. Looks like we've got a little clear shot here. Maybe we'll try out the paddle shifters. Okay. Yeah, that's where it's at, guys. I'm convinced. I'm gonna give Susquehanna a call this afternoon. Time for the EcoDiesel to go. This is great. Yep. Yeah. I don't know really what to say on camera. If you don't have a chance to go or if you can get a chance to go drive one of these or at least test it out, maybe find someone in your area that'll graciously allow you to drive it, which they probably won't, but we got Randy, he's a cool guy back there. You gotta do it. Wow. Yeah, if you like this one, you know, you gotta give a thumbs up for Randy. We love seeing those thumbs up, but he let us take out his brand new 2021 Rubicon 392 with right now just over 600 miles. So give that thumbs up, drop a comment below. So yeah, it does have paddle shifters here, so it's just the upper part of the paddle shifter since you have your controllers on the back here for your radio system. And what it does, so you have your plus on the right side and your minus on the left side, so upshift, downshift. And then Randy just told me if you hold in the plus system, that's what actually deactivates the manual shift mode. Because once you get into it, it'll stay into it until you're done driving. So if you hold the plus button in, it'll deactivate that, and then you're back into standard shifting, which, I mean, it's smooth. This thing's smooth as butter. Wow. And our roads here in Pennsylvania are not that good, and this thing drives like it should. It's up a little bit too, so I figure it is probably a 2-inch lift because I can remember putting on the Mopar 2-inch on RJL when we first got it, and it's almost at the same height. But very touchy pedal. I like that. I like it a lot. Everything about it. It's great. Well, guys, this one has been a really good time. I'm glad we had a chance to hop in this, really take a look at it in closer detail. I haven't been able to see one of these, and then for Randy and his wife to come up and give us a chance to drive this, a huge shout out to them. I mean, this video wouldn't be possible without them coming here and taking a chance out to check out our shop and let us check out their Jeep. So great to have them here, really great people. And you know what, guys, if you are thinking about one of these, you're thinking about checking one out, you got to go do it. I mean, there's nothing like hopping into it like this and really getting your hands onto it and checking out the ins and outs of this Jeep. So if you like this video, definitely drop a comment below. You know, next week they might have another 392 coming for us, so you're just gonna have to leave a little bit of suspense there and see what comes in, but we might have another one here on camera, or at least some photos for you guys. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. This has been a great opportunity for me. I love the Hemi Jeep and I love everything about it. So if you like this one, drop a comment below, like the page. And if you don't like it, then you probably shouldn't own a Jeep because you need to like this. Until next time, guys, we're gonna pull this in here, take a little bit of a closer look, go grab some lunch, and I'll see you out on the trails.